By popular demand, it's time to discuss the Singapore banks.
Hi guys, Stanley here. Singapore is a financial hub, and that is why over the past decades, Singapore has become the Switzerland of Southeast Asia. It is where many of the wealthy people around Southeast Asia come to store their wealth. This is because Singapore is a much safer place to keep their wealth compared to their home country. There's three main factors that make Singapore such an attractive place as the financial hub. For one, Singapore has a stable political system. It also has a stable currency and a strong rule of law. For example, 1 million Indonesian rupiah back in 2003 can change you around 200 Singapore dollars. But today, it's only worth about 92 Sing dollar. That's a depreciation of 4.5% every single year. With a more stable currency, you can see why it is attracting more wealth coming from neighboring countries. On top of that, Singapore has a scarcity of land, and that makes its property one of the highest valued around the region. It's just simple supply and demand. With less of it, the price will be higher. And with every property, there tend to be a mortgage coming from a Singapore bank. And with those reasons, the Singapore banks have become the largest financial firms around the region. The three banks are DBS Group Holdings, Overseas Chinese Banking Corporation or OCBC, and United Overseas Bank or UOB. If we look forward in the next few decades, the prospect of all these three banks are still looking bright. This is because in the past, they are just the piggy bank of Southeast Asia. But now, they're attracting wealth from a much wider region. With the growth of wealth from places like India and China, more wealth is flowing to Singapore. On top of that, after the global financial crisis, many of the Western banks have lost their courage to expand. And many of them actually decide to sell out their Asian business. And many turn to the Singapore banks. And finally, because of the Hong Kong protests that has dragged on for years, the stability of Hong Kong as a financial hub is now in question, and many turn to the alternative, which is Singapore. And yes, the coronavirus pandemic has crippled the world economy, including Asia, and I'm sure the Singapore banks will struggle in the next few quarters as well. But if we look at this prospect over the longer term, they're still looking bright. This is because we have seen the story before. We have seen that in Europe when after World War II, the Swiss bank was able to grow together with Europe as they rebuilt. In the same way, the Singapore bank should be able to grow as Asia grows. So when investing into the Singapore banks, we're not just investing in Singapore, we're investing in Asia at large. And that's the story of why the financial sector in Singapore will continue to do well. I have another video where I dive deeper into the three banks and find out which is the one that I like the most at the moment. You can check that video out as well. That's it from me. If you like the video, please tap the like button, and if you find it useful, please share it as well. And subscribe to our channel. Remember to click on the bell button to get the notification on our next video. My name is Stanley. Till we meet again, invest safely.